Shalom. This is your brother Tazaya Amar of GMS Valdosta, Georgia, coming out with another weekly lesson. And I pray that it'll be edifying as well as informative. But first, we want to give all praises and glorifications to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Yikakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, the great millstone, for teaching us the true knowledge of these scriptures. I want to say Shalom and Ahab to all the Aquans and Aquas that are striving in this same true doctrine. Shalom. Today's lesson is based upon the word vanity. And vanity is pretty much corner things, that really gonna come to naught. Some people is holding on to this society, as if it's their kingdom. This place is on its way out. And when I say on its way out, that's not even giving it justice. What's going to happen to this place? The Most High said it's going to be a desolate. He's going to pretty much wipe it off the face of the earth. Babylon, so-called America, aka America, Babylon. And with that being said, my first scripture is going to be the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse 7. Matter of fact, we're going to start at Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and start at verse 1. The word of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem, King Solomon. Let's see what he got to say about vain things and counter things. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 2. Vanity of vanity, says the preacher, King Solomon. Vanity of vanity, all is vanity. Now here it is, a man that had it all. He had wealth beyond measure. He had fame. He had wisdom that surpassed anybody that was on the face of the earth during that time. And in this time era. But listen to what he said about all of those things that he possessed. Vanity of vanity, says the preacher, King Solomon. Vanity of vanity, all is vanity. Imagine that. Once again, here's a man that had it all. And he said that all those things that he possessed was vain, corruptible. Didn't have any spiritual content to it. Money can't buy salvation. Money can't buy you a seat in the kingdom. You're not wise enough to outsmart Yahweh while Yahweh shine. As a lot of these devils think that they're going to be able to do in the latter days. That's right. A lot of these devils, Esau, so-called white man, think that he's going to be able to outsmart the Most High in the latter days. Imagine that. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 4. One generation passes, Salaki, Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 3. What profit has a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? That's pretty much going into the fact that, you can accumulate, a whole bunch of different things. And they are going to come to naught. You can have a collection of cars, houses, boats, planes, trains, women's. Hey, they're all going to come to naught. Can none of these things buy you a seat in the kingdom? One generation passes away, and another generation coming, but the earth abideth forever. All these things, you can't take them to the grave with you. And if you could, they still ain't gonna prosper you nothing. Because let the scripture say, hey, your spirit goes back to the Father. You're not gonna be able to take your wealth, your money, your gold, your silver, your platinum, nothing materialistic gonna be able to go back to the Father with you. Nothing but your spirit. And like a lot of people say, you never see a Brinks truck falling behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. And like I say, if you could, it still ain't gonna do you no good. The sun also arises, and the sun goes down, and hasteth to his place where he rose. The wind goes toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All these things are controlled by the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Awashai. Even the things that you holding on to for dear life. Got a lot of people holding on to this society for dear life. A lot of jakes think that, hey, their kingdom is going to be on this side. They don't want to let this place go. They seek after the things that Esau have set up to keep you from your higher power. Everything he do is by design. He's not doing anything from the goodness of his heart. So what if he give you a multi-million-dollar contract to make songs, rap songs, about killing each other, about killing your brother, degrading your sister, disrespecting your elders? Hey, all those things are by design to keep you from your higher power, to keep you in a state of confoundment, disillusion, and just mesmerized in that Stockholm syndrome, thinking that, hey, somehow the man that abused you gonna at some point in time gonna love you. It's never gonna happen. He never gonna respect you. So don't let that little smile and that pat on the back fool you. And with that being said, let me go to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. A lot of times people think that, well, they'll say that, hey, why you guys are so angry? Why y'all are so obnoxious? Why y'all hate? Why this? Why that? Hey, because we know that we're being oppressed. Just because you don't know somebody got a foot on your neck, that's you. You got the illusion of inclusion. That somehow or another that, hey, the same man that raped, robbed, and murdered your ancestors tried to genocide a whole nation of people, that after doing all this, he gonna start loving you? No, he got more hatred for you than you got for him, and you didn't do anything to him. But he got more hatred for you than you got for him. Make that make sense. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyed the heart. As I said earlier, those little bread and circus, dog and pony shows, running up and down the field with a pigskin in your hand, throwing a ball through a hoop, getting in a boxing ring, putting your life on the line for a few dollars. It's all by design. All these things to keep you distracted in a state of not so much as, well, in a state of confusion, because as long as you confused and thinking that these things on this side are gonna somehow or another give you a seat in the kingdom, no. They're set up by design. There's nothing new under the sun. These coliseums where they had these big sport events. Hey, they was going today. That was the same thing in biblical times. The same dog and pony shows. But only Jake was the dog and the pony. And the court justice. And with that being said, I'm going to close out by giving all praises and glorifications to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rikakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders for teaching us the true knowledge of these scriptures. I want to say Shalom and Ahab to all the Arkans and Akwas that are striving and thriving in the same 100% true doctrine. Shalom.